This video is brought to you in association with Funded Today. Funded Today helps you get more pledges for your Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaign with professional video and design. Links are in the video description below. Thank you. Let's get on with the show. Hello, Talk Funders. Today, we're joined by Hassan from the AIRODOME Personal Atmosphere Device, which has just been launched on Indiegogo. Hello, Hassan, my friend. How are you?
Hello, Alan. I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm not doing too bad. Listen, Hassan, we'll just go straight into watching this video because I think it'll be a really great way to really begin to learn about this journey that you've been on to really solve a major issue which we're all going to face, particularly where travel is concerned. And the product that you have, just to give us a short intro, it's an ultralight personal atmosphere device. So let's first of all just open up the video, start the video, and then let's look at some of the issues that we've all faced over the last 12 to 18 months. And it really is asking, the question is asking, like we are feeling, where are we getting clean air from? And increasingly, we're all feeling very exposed and vulnerable to the air from pandemic air, basically. So maybe we can just stop just before we look at the device itself. Can we just really talk about what the issues you saw with the normal face masks that we have been using?
Well, I think we all know that face masks haven't really evolved much over the last 100 years. And I didn't know that, by the way. I've just I came to this realization that face masks haven't evolved while we were making the AIRODOME, while we were developing it. So my basic issue with face masks is, since I wear glasses, when I exhale, I tend to fog my glasses, which tells me that the air is escaping through the path of least resistance, being the area around my nose, maybe other areas as well. So it's probably not going through the channel it's supposed to go through. So there's number one, that probably it does not perform, it's not good at its primary function. Secondly, I tend to have difficulty in comprehending what people are saying if I can't see their face or if I can't read their lips. Probably, maybe I do lip reading and I'm not very, I'm not conscious about it, but when I can't, I tend to ask people to repeat themselves. So two basic issues. A, is it really that effective against the aerosols? B, it's making difficult for me to communicate. And C, I think it's not doing its job, the job of putting air through a filter media very well. So this is not exactly how we came to the conclusion and we said, oh, okay, this is problem A, B, and C, let's make a product. Our path was a bit different. Well, we'll talk about that a bit later in the interview. But these are the problems that we think we've been able to solve.
Yes, and now let's just go on and look at this product that you have, your solution, which is the ultralight personal atmosphere device, which is a really interesting product. So thank you for coming to Talk Funding to share it with us. And here it is here. So this is the AIRODOME, the world's lightest personal atmosphere device. And I'll just let the video run just a little bit, Hassan, and then we can begin to describe its features and its benefits of use. So one feature is it's lightweight. And then let's look at these here. Could you begin to look at the features and benefits now of using this device?
Well, when we were, the timing of when we started to work on this was about 8 to 10 months ago, when, well, things were getting slightly better and there were prospects of travel. And since I love to travel, I was thinking, would I get on a plane in these circumstances? And I didn't feel quite comfortable getting on a plane. So actually, I wasn't on a plane I'm used to international travel almost once in every 2 months, but I didn't get on a plane for 11 months. And the first time I got on the plane, I did feel quite comfortable because there are too many people and the air circulation is spreading the goodness around. And I think we are quite exposed in an environment like that. that not necessarily the airplanes, buses, trains, wherever there are a large number of people. And I'd like to be in places without people. So I don't want to seclude myself. And so we decided to do something about it. And B, I've already told you about how I feel about the mask. So what we did was we just developed an enclosure which would not hinder your vision, which would ensure that your face and your expression are visible to everybody. C, very important design feature of this device is lightweight, because you don't want to be carrying around a bunch of tubes and blowers and pumps to keep that going. So we wanted to make it very light. That has had an impact on the shape of the device. Of course, we could have made it more gadgety, maybe a bit more sleek and cool to look at. Our objective was to just keep it as light as possible. So every gram that we could shave here and there and be able to manufacture it was important. So this is how we went about. This is the thought process that went behind it. And what we've been able to do is this is a very high grade optical polycarbonate sheet. So your vision through it and yourself being visible through it, I think we've been able to achieve that. B, the effort of putting air through a filter media. Essentially, the filter media over here is same specs as a face mask. So we don't exceed or we haven't reinvented the filtration part, except that the effort to put air through that media is done by a fan and not by your lungs, which makes life a lot easier. And the most important, in my opinion, the third part of the design is that you can recline. You can put it on a seat, on an aircraft seat, or in a lounge. You can recline, because if you can't recline, then you haven't really solved the problem with it. So those are the basic. That's the basic design brief around which we worked, and I think what we have been able to achieve is possibly one solution which ticks all those boxes. There may be others, and maybe we'll get to that in the next revision if we do it.
And I suppose like one of the emphasis is on product design and travel, as the video says. It really is focused on product design and travel. And you've highlighted, as some of the shots in the video have already shown, people traveling waiting in airport lounges and getting onto an airplane. I mean, and this really is another potential use is this for staff, say in hospitality venues such as cafes and bars. Is that correct?
Sure, because I think if you've experienced being in a cafe or a bar, you realize how difficult it is to speak to a waiter, or how difficult it is to place an order or speak to somebody if both parties are wearing a mask, or even one is. B, I think the duration of exposure for somebody who's working in that environment is fairly high. So if you're in and out, I think the exposure is still bearable. And if you're not wearing the most effective personal protection, it's all right. You still have immunity. But somebody who's working in a hotel or in a cafe, I think this device makes sense for them.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I mean, I think that is a really plus for it. Is big, it's really good for staff. I mean, it takes the pressure off staff, the worry, the concern of staff, to be in dealing with the public. It's really good. And this is me in airport lounges, by the way, falling asleep. So it's very comfortable. And also here, I think this shot is showing that you can't, like with the movements that the lady's doing in the video, you can move around with it. You can't lift your suitcases as you're traveling, etc., etc. So it's not static.
Yeah, one of the design features, or say design challenges we had, was that if you've tried to wear a face shield, you realize that if you keep something strapped to your head for too long, even though the pressure is not great, but that hurts your skin quite a lot. So while we were iterating different ways of keeping this thing on your head, we realized that if we could balance the mask in a way that the shield and the fan somehow counter each other, we could have this device with no need for strapping, no Velcro, no elastic bands, And that's what we've been able to achieve. So you can put it on for 4 or 5 hours, you remove it, there are no
It's
marks.
18 hours.
And that was, in my opinion, some kind of important. It was not part of the initial design brief, but once we had done it, we realized that this was very important.
And we'll look at that in more detail in the backstory and in the deep dive. Like even I get irritated with just having the elastic sometimes around my ears and stuff. I mean, so it's wonderful what you've developed here, particularly if you have to use it for a long time, which is in air travel you're doing. And I think just before we go and look at go back to the Indiegogo page, just like to emphasize to everybody that you're ready to go, you're ready to ship. You've got 500 plus units in place, and we'll just bring it back now. AIRODOME.com. So we'll just come back to the actual Indiegogo page. And I think that is just really great. Just let me get the feature here. Just let that run. And we'll just look at this, the Indiegogo page. And let's just look through the perks. The perks I love are very straightforward perks here. For the early birds, you've got 100 early bird offerings here. So you have 6 gone already, and you've only launched a few days ago. So it's coming in at $79. And then once those first 100 goes, it'll go up from the 79 to 89. But I also think it's great that you're offering multiple packs. You've got a pack of 3, and already you've got 5 claimed already in that. That's coming in at $225 US. And there's also a pack of 10. The pack of 10, I would say, could be very popular for business people who are looking for staff for their cafes or their restaurants, etc. And also I note that you do ship worldwide. So I'm just bringing it back up to the top page here again. I would like to thank Hassan from the AIRODOME Personal Atmosphere Device, which is live on Indiegogo. All the links will be in the video description below. Thank you so much, Hassan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.